Today's June 14th, 2025. This is the entry in my journal. And, even me doing a journal has kind of been fuzzy in my own mind because last night I started thinking about an entry I wanted to make. But I was thinking, I wouldn't even do it probably if I actually anymore if I didn't have the notion that maybe my grandchildren might see this. I mean, it's not like I would be able to go back in the future and look at some of the stuff I put down and realize when I did it. And I was thinking, my daughter used to journal a lot. And I know some of her journals are still here. But I think that it can be kind of an amazing thing to look back, especially if you're writing your journal or a diary. A diary and a journal might be a little bit different. But I don't know. But anyway, and look back and see, what you said way back then, how you viewed things and everything. I made my coffee, brushed my teeth. This is my first hitting on my guitar string right now. See, I'm learning the song "Knocking on Heaven's Door." And 4 chords, like I have to learn to strum. I'm just learning to strum those chords, and that's where I'm at right now. I mean, I'm a beginner. I'm a way beginner. I've had 3 lessons so far, and I don't know where all the time goes. Seems like I should be further along than I am, but I've made some progress. I used to be able to not do it that fluently, and it's like I was saying before, things become easier the more familiar we get with it, whatever. People are things. And so, that's where I am right now. Last night, I didn't listen. I decided sometimes I listen to stuff as I go to sleep. But last night I decided to meditate as I was falling asleep. Well, I didn't fall asleep for a long time, and a couple hours at least. And I started reflecting. Well, actually, what happened was it was raining, and the rain was hitting on my front porch. It's a metal roof, and plus I got a metal roof on top of my home right now. Now I do, after I put the new roof on and put it on in metal, And the sound of the water and my fans together, or something, it started sounding like a noise that was familiar to me. And I was thinking, where did I hear that noise before? And it brought up in my mind, probably because I was thinking about my childhood with my father, since his birthday was just a couple days ago. And and then other reflections that kind of launched because of my reflections on that, my reflecting as a kid. Well, the thing is, I was wondering, where did that sound come from? I heard before. Sounds familiar. And it didn't take me long. I realized, that was a sound I heard, and I haven't even had a thought about this in so long. As a little kid, we used to have these roller skates that you could clamp onto your bottom of your tennis shoes, or whatever kind of shoes you were wearing. We mostly wore tennis shoes. And you could clamp the roller skates on there, and they had steel wheels. And as we would practice roller skating down the street or the sidewalk, that would make a certain sound. The steel wheels against the concrete or whatever, and the bearings and the sound of the roll of the skates as you're rolling. And it sort of reminded me of, and I thought, wow, I haven't even thought of those skates like in a long time. And I'm talking a long time. Like I'm 63. I must have been like, I don't know, between like the ages of 5 and 10 or something like that. Probably somewhere between 5 and 10. And anyway, and then I started thinking of the other times when I used to go roller skating at different roller rinks, and I haven't really thought about roller skating in a long time, but I roller skated at a roller skating rink in Wisconsin. I roller skated at a roller skating rink in Indiana, and rink, I said rink, and by the way, my dad nicknamed me Rink when I was a kid. I forgot to mention that. Everybody called me Rink. Anyway, talk about that later. Anyway, and then I started thinking other things, and what happened was I came in touch with my inner child. Like I could remember everything, how I felt, what I was looking at, and different things, like it was a movie with feelings included, captured in my mind, and I remembered it. So I remembered myself, see? I remembered myself as a kid. I remembered the feelings and the, and what it was like. And I was thinking, I'm actually the same person that I was even way back then. I mean, sure, like I was thinking, well, I don't believe certain things that I believed back then, but I'm still the same person. I still have the same evaluational processes at work. I still have the same really down deep inner values at work. Like I'm actually, still the same person. Like they say sometimes in modern thought, if you want to change your personal reality, you have to change your personality. Well, there's a depth in your personality. I mean, you can modify some things about your personality. You can become more outgoing if your energy is more derived from introspectively. You can become more of an extrovert. If you're judging, you can become more intuitive. If you're the Myers-Briggs test, is based on Carl Jung's work, and he it's where you get your energy from. You got different he has like 8 different categories of where people get their energy from. Some are introverts, some are extrovert, some are sensing, some are perception, some are intuitive, some are judging, some are, there's 2 more categories. I can't remember all of them. But anyway, it's where you get your energy from, how you get your energy, and what, depletes you of energy, when you have to engage in it. Anyway, you could even change, like I used to be more introverted than I am now. I'm a little bit more extroverted than I used to be, where I get my energy from. Like if I was a straight introvert, probably wouldn't even be making this public, keep it private. but I am making it public. I'm more extroverted now because, you know, I want you, my grandchildren, to be privy to this, because I never had it. I never had anybody talking to me like this when I was a kid. Might have helped me out. And yeah, I don't even know what age grandchild I'm talking to. But it's kind of like I could say the same thing to anybody if they listen. Don't matter how old. And whatever your age, you know, questions you might have are good. It's just like this book, I Wonder. See, I got these books. I Wonder. Oh, I got this book, Consciousness, written by the same author, Anaka Harris. It came in the mail the other day. But I read it once. I actually was going to make a little thing on it, but I didn't have any. An alert came in from a kidnapped child in Dade County, like in, I forget where Dade County is. It's like Orlando or something. I think it's further out than Orlando. Anyway, so to get back to my point, you know, I started remembering what it was like as a child. You know, that was pretty cool. I never actually did that before. You know, even though I've studied in psychology, I've studied like in script analysis and transactional analysis. I think they talk a lot about the inner child, maybe reality therapy. Anyway, they talk about a person's inner child. And I never really had the experience of recalling like a memory that included feelings and thought and everything as if I was when I was younger. Anyway, now last time I talked about, I know I said that you're all you are is a divine conduit, and so I wanted to say, you know, it's about almost 13 minutes. I wanted to say, I feel obligated to say, it's my duty to say, that the other side of that coin, the flip side of that is, you know, you are a conduit for the divine. That's a given. The other given is everybody is a conduit for the divine. So you have to treat other people properly. Even if they don't believe it, even if they don't know it, they are still a conduit for the divine. God has given every living being life. Life comes from God, see? If you're alive, if you're an animal, if you're an insect, if you're a tree, God gives everything life. Where else would life come from? You think it's like you say it's a natural phenomena? And that's all it is? Well, it might be a natural phenomenon, but where does nature come from? Where does life come from? Where does intelligence and consciousness, where does it come from? Okay? If you go all the way back to ground zero, you know, where the buck stops, you got no explanation for that. You got no explanation for it. Nobody does. And look, the default for me is, I believe that's we can properly call that God. So, now some people, you know, they say I don't believe in God. Well, for me, that's like saying I don't believe in life. You know, if you don't believe in an afterlife, like if you believe that when you die, that's it, light goes out, that's it. Because all you are is a phenomenon. Well, some people say, I don't believe in God. And, well, for me, that's like saying I don't believe in life. Some people say this is all an illusion, because when you break it down with a microscope and stuff, you realize that energy holds everything together, and that we're kind of like holograms, Anyway, these are discoveries that they've been making, in today's scientific world. But that being said, they treat each other people as though they're holy and sacred, because God gave them life, and just like God gave you life. I don't know if it's I think it's a Hindu religion. I think they when they meet somebody, they go like this, because they give reverence to every other person, as though every other person is sacred. And I was thinking last night, in a relationship between a man and a woman, or a boy and a girl, who are very opposite because of their biology, and because of the way girls and boys differ in thinking, that I was thinking it would be a good idea to pray to your beloved. Like, if you love somebody, we think about praying to God. Well, you can also pray to somebody. And they used to say, in English language, they used to use the word prayer like they used to say, I pray thee. I pray thee, tell me the truth. A prayer is like asking. And prayer connotates a devotion. I pray tell. I think they use the word pray. C.S. Lewis in Chronicles of Narnia, because I read that. I don't know if I read it to my kids, but I know I read it. I think I just read it. But I remember him saying, pray tell, Or it might have been in the movie. I know I had that from my kids. Well, I just wanted to say that it's every bit as important to understand that other people are a conduit for the divine, just like you are a conduit for the divine. And so, I don't know. In Christian tradition, they say that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. And so, well, I think documented this now for my own record. Last night was the night that I first, realized a memory bank of a bunch of memories. I actually conjured them up, started thinking about all the different other things, that I did as a kid. And what it felt like in the internal processing as a kid way back then, and then the realization that you know, everybody is conduit for the divine. Like my guitar teacher, you know, he told me about practicing. You know, I get up in the morning and I brush my teeth and make my coffee, and then as the coffee's making, practice my guitar. You know, I told the guy, I confessed, I'm not really practicing as much as I intended to. I don't know where all the time goes, but that's it. I'm wasting time now. I hope you have a good day. Bye.